Good day to everyone out there. Welcome to the Deeper Life e-learning platform. As we have to stay at home during this period of the pandemic in order to stay safe, it is very important for us to stay positively engaged as well. That is why we're using this channel to engage you in different classes. Today, we're having the first class in English language for junior secondary school students. My name is Mr. Momo Uriel, welcoming you to this class. I'm sure we'll have a good time together as we learn via this platform. Once again, you are welcome to the Deeper Life e-learning platform. In our first lesson today, we will be doing a revision of what I am sure every one of you out there know very, very well. Talking about the building blocks of the English language. In other words, I'm talking about the parts of speech. The parts of speech. I am sure this is not strange to any one of you because you, right from the time you started learning the English language, have come across this lesson over and over again. And I'm also very sure that as you progress in your learning of the English language, you will be learning this aspect of the English language more and more. This is why I've called it the building blocks of the English language, because it is with your proper understanding of this part of speech that we'll be revising today that you will become efficient and proficient in the use of the English language, either in speaking or in writing. So let's go together as we go over this lesson, which I am very sure you have learned before, the parts of speech, learning the building blocks of the English language. To begin, let's consider the following learning objectives. By the time we're done in today's class, I expect that everyone joining us in this class will have been able to properly revise the different parts of speech we have in the English language. Apart from that, I also expect that you'll be able to identify them whenever you come across them in structure. Now, this is the area where many students find it very difficult identifying, recognizing, and knowing the different parts of speech. So by the time we are done in our lesson today, we expect that you will be able to identify and classify these various parts of speech whenever you come across them within a structure. Apart from that, I also expect that you will learn how to correctly make use of these various parts of speech, either when you write or when you speak. Please take note of these learning objectives as we go through the lesson together this morning. Why is it important that we learn the various parts of speech? Why is it important that we have a mastery, a good knowledge of this part of speech? In this introduction, I want to quickly point out to you why learning the part of speech and having a mastery of them is very important. Number one, having a good understanding of the different parts of speech we have in the English language will help you in knowing how words can and should be joined together to make correct sentences. That's very important. You need to learn how the words, various words we have in the language can, and also how they should be joined together to make correct sentences. Apart from that, when you have a good understanding of the different parts of speech we have in the English language, it will help you to know how to correctly punctuate a sentence when you write. This is another area where many students have problem punctuating a sentence. So having a good understanding of the parts of speech and learning how they work will help you to know how to correctly punctuate a sentence whenever you write. Also, when you have a good understanding of the parts of speech, it will help you to know how words function in sentences and the meaning they convey. Let me say here that you may not be able to automatically classify a particular word to a particular group by merely looking at that word in isolation. You have to consider how that word has been used with other words within a sentence and the meaning that word conveys before you can reach the conclusion to say that this word belongs to this particular word group or word class or part of speech. That is why it is important that we learn the parts of speech and have a good understanding of them. Now let's quickly run over the various parts of speech we have. There are 8 parts of speech we have in the English language, although some other scholars will want to say there are 9, classifying the 9th one, but I will explain as we go on in the lesson. So the 8 parts of speech we have are, I know you there, can we take them together after 2? 1, you have the noun, 2, pronoun, 3, the verb, 4, the adverb, 5, the adjective, 6, preposition, 7, conjunction, 8, interjection. We have 8 parts of speech that can be identified in the English language. Let's proceed as we'll take a further look at them one after the other in a little detail. The first part of speech we'll be looking at is the nouns. This is about the most important part of speech we have in the English language because you come across it over and over again each time you want to make a statement or you want to write anything. So the noun is a very important part of speech of the English language. What then is a noun? I am sure you all know this. You have learned this before. A noun is a word or any word that suggests the name of something. In other words, it is a naming word. A word that suggests the name of people, the name of a place, the name of things, the name of ideas, the names of concepts. A noun is a naming word. Take a look at these examples. 1. Mike owns the fastest car. Mike owns the fastest car. In this first example, the word Mike is a noun. It is the name of a person. And so it is a noun. It is called a proper noun, the name of a particular person. you will learn more about this. I'm sure you already know what the proper noun is. Then the word car is also a noun. It is the name of a thing. We can describe car as a common noun, general name given to a thing. You can think of more examples of common nouns that you know around you. In the second example, we have they decided to buy the house. They decided to buy the house. In this example, the word house is a noun, is the name of a place or where people live in, or a building. You can also call it a thing. And we can also say house is a common noun. In the third example I have here, it reads, I believe in free speech. I believe in free speech. In this example, free speech is a noun, but it's unlike the noun mic, the noun car, the noun house, because we can see these other nouns that I've just mentioned, but we can't see free speech. So free speech is like a concept, like an idea. We call this kind of noun abstract noun. I'm sure you know what abstract nouns are, and I'm also sure you know other types of nouns which we will look at later on in subsequent classes. So, like I said, a noun is any word that suggests the name of people, places, things, ideas, or concepts. In other words, a noun is a naming word. I'm sure you get that and you won't forget that. Next, we take a look at pronouns. Just as nouns, pronouns are equally important. A pronoun is a word that is used to take the place of a noun. They are used in place of noun to replace noun. Now, why we use pronouns particularly is in order to avoid unnecessary repetitions of a particular noun whenever we write or whenever we talk. So instead of having to repeat that same noun over and over again, we use a pronoun to replace that noun. We have so many examples, but let's quickly take a look at these three I have here. 1. John gave her a gift. John gave her a gift. In this example, her is a pronoun. Her is a pronoun. I will describe this kind of pronoun as a personal pronoun. Gave her a gift. By the time we look at types of pronoun in subsequent lessons, you will get to understand this better. 2. Why did you push me? Why did you push me? Here, you and me are also pronouns. You and me are also pronouns, and they are personal pronouns. 3. Please look after yourself. Please look after yourself. Here, yourself is a pronoun, and it is described as a reflective pronoun. We have the different types of pronouns, which in subsequent lessons you will need to learn and understand in detail. But now, remember and know this, that pronouns are words that are used instead of nouns. They are used to replace noun, and they help to avoid repetition, unnecessary repetition of particular nouns in writing. Pronouns are important. Another very, very important part of speech which you must learn and know very well are the verbs. The verbs play very, very important role whenever you make a statement and whenever you write. So it's important you have a good understanding of what a verb is and how verbs are used. Here, let's just make a quick explanation of what a verb is. A verb, like you learned way back in your primary school days, early school days, you have learned a verb to be action words or doing words. But we can say that a verb is more than an action word. It is more than a word that describes or expresses an action. So I will simply explain a verb here to be a word that expresses a physical action or a state. A physical action or a state. Take a look at the examples we have here. Number one, Femi plays tennis. Femi plays tennis. Here, the word plays is a verb. Obviously, it is a word that describes an action. It tells us what Femi does. The action, the activity that Femi performs. Look at number two. The floods are serious. The floods are serious. In example 2 here, the word are is also a verb. But unlike plays, it is not an action word. We describe it as a word that describes a state or gives a condition or situation. The flaws are serious. So it's telling us the states or the condition of the flaws. Now look at example number 3. Take your time. Take your time. Here, the word take is also a verb, and it's a word that describes, indicates an action that should be taken. So from these examples here, we can see that a verb is a word that expresses an action, or what you call a doing word, and at the same time, a verb is also a word that describes a state or a condition of being. I've told you that verbs are very important in making the sentence whenever you write or whenever you speak. So it's very important that you have a good knowledge, a good understanding of the verbs. There are so many things to learn in the verbs, and we'll do that in subsequent lessons as God gives us grace. But remember, verbs are words that expresses action or a state. Next, we look at adverbs. Adverbs. An adverb is a word that is used to tell us more about verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. So we say they modify verbs, they modify adjectives, they modify other adverbs. Adverbs answer the question how, why, when, and so on. Look at this example. She walked slowly. She walked slowly. In this example, the word slowly is an adverb. The word slowly is an adverb. It tells us how she walked. Tells us how she walked. In other words, we can say it is an adverb of manner. Adverb of manner. Example number 2. They are extremely poor. They are extremely poor. Here, the word extremely is an adverb and it's qualifying the adjective poor, telling us the extent, the degree to which they are poor. So we can say extremely here is an adverb of degree. It tells us the extent to which these people are poor. They are extremely poor. 3. The police arrived very quickly. The police arrived very quickly. Now, very and quickly here are adverbs, and both are describing the verb arrive, telling us how the response of the police, the frequency of the response, or how soon they arrive. In other words, it's also an adverb of time, telling us when they arrive and the promptness of their arrival. Like other parts of speech which we have looked at, there are many types of adverbs also that you will need to learn and you need to understand. And I'm sure that in subsequent lessons you will know more about adverbs. But for now, remember that adverbs are words that modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. They are also very important when we speak and when we write. Next, we look at adjectives. Adjective. Adjectives are descriptive words. They are words that describe nouns and pronouns. What adjectives do in particular is that they tell us more about noun. An adjective will help you to identify a noun from a lot. It limits a noun, it qualifies a noun, it describes noun. Adjectives are very, very important in helping us to know what you are talking about or who you are talking about in particular. They are descriptive words. Look at these examples. That was an exciting film. That was an exciting film. Here, the word exciting is an adjective and it is describing the word film, which is a noun, telling us how the film was. It was an exciting film. 2. The boy in the red jumper is happy. The boy in the red jumper is happy. Here, red and happy are adjectives. First, red jumper help us to identify the particular boy we're talking about here. It means that there could be a lot of boys in the hall, but for you to be able to know the particular boy that we describe to be happy, we say the boy in the red jumper. So the red jumper here has helped us to limit our description to a particular boy. So red is an adjective and happy also is an adjective. More than that, red is an adjective of color. In subsequent classes, you will learn more about the different types of adjective. And then happy is an adjective describing quality or your state or your mood. So happy is also an adjective. The last example here is this is the longest essay. This is the longest essay. In this example, the word longest is an adjective describing essay. Describing essay. And is an adjective of size, telling us how lengthy the essay is. We have other types of adjective which you will learn as time goes on, and I'm sure you can give me more examples of adjective because there are so many of them. But the important thing you need to learn, you need to know, and you need to always have in mind is that adjectives are words that describe a noun or pronoun. You want to help people to understand the noun better. You want to make them know the particular noun you're talking about or the particular person you're talking about. You make use of adjective in qualifying, in describing, and in limiting your noun. Adjectives are very important as well. Next, we look at preposition. Preposition. This is one part of speech that many students actually get confused about. And it's important you learn and understand this part of speech very well and know how to make good use of them. Prepositions are words that show relationship between words. They show relationship between other words or phrases. They show the kind of connection that exists between them. Most of the time, these words are either nouns or pronouns. Let's look at these examples we have here. The book is on the table. The book is on the table. The word on here is a preposition and it shows the relationship between the word book and table. On is a preposition. 2. He went into the room. He went into the room. Into here also is a preposition and it shows relationship between the pronoun he and the noun room. 3. I am against abortion. I'm against abortion. Here, against is a preposition as well and shows relationship between the personal pronoun I and the noun abortion. And so prepositions show relationship between two or more words. I am sure you can think of more examples of preposition. And when you think of more examples of position, try to consider, try to look at the relationship they try to show in their usage. Prepositions are very important and you must learn how to make good use of them. There's still so much to learn and to say about prepositions, which I am sure you will get to know about them in subsequent classes. For now, prepositions are words that show relationship. Next, we take a look at conjunctions. Conjunctions are words that are used to join words, phrases, and clauses together in a structure, that is, in a sentence. You can describe conjunctions as link words or connecting words. They help to link or connect words together. Take a look at the examples we have here. 1. He is tall and slim. He is tall and slim. The word "and" here is a conjunction and it connects the quality that this person has. He is tall and at the same time he is slim. And here is a conjunction adding two qualities together. 2. I'll wait until she arrives. I wait until she arrives. Until here is a conjunction, though it's a subordinated conjunction here. You'll get to know that better in subsequent classes. I wait until she arrived. A subordinated conjunction indicating the extent to which the person is willing to wait. 3. Tom is sick, so he is not here. Tom is sick, so he is not here. So is a conjunction here as well, and it's also a subordinating conjunction showing the result, the consequence, the reason Tom isn't here. So we learn that conjunction are words that join other words, phrases, and clauses together in sentence. They are very, very important words that you need to learn and see that you understand very, very well if you will learn how to link sentences when you write, and also how to connect paragraphs when you write. Conjunctions are very, very important. Finally, we look at interjections. Interjections. Now, interjections are words that are used to express feelings or emotions. They express feelings or emotion. They can express the feeling of surprise, feeling of shock, feeling of admiration, feeling of wonder, feeling of pain, feeling of excitement, and the like. There are words that are used to express emotions or feeling. Look at these examples. Wow, that is brilliant. Wow, that is brilliant. The word wow here is an interjection, and it expresses the feeling of amazement, of wonder, of surprise. 2. Ouch, that really hurt. Ouch, that really hurt. Now, ouch here is also an interjection, that it expresses a feeling of pain, of one expressing hurt. So it's an interjection. 3. Hey, how are you doing? Hey, how are you doing? Now, here, hey is an interjection, and it kind of expresses surprise and amazement or happiness in meeting the fellow and finding out how the fellow is doing. Hey is an interjection. I'm sure you can give more examples of interjection, and also learn how to make good use of them in sentences and whenever the need arises. Interjections are words that show feelings or emotions. Now, having looked at the different parts of speech in their introductory form today, I am sure you already have come to understand them, and you'll be able to identify them and know how they are used. That is why I would like you to carry out this short task that will help to find out how well you understood the lesson of today and how easily you can recognize and identify the parts of speech. I would like you to understand that the parts of speech can be identified whenever we speak or write. You can classify all your words, all your writing to the different parts of speech that we have. So in this task here, I would like you to identify the different parts of speech in this short passage below. Classify each of the words we have here to the different parts of speech that we have looked at this afternoon, today rather, and find out how well you understand them. Remember, understanding parts of speech is very, very important for you to be able to have a good mastery of the English language and do well in the English language. Your subsequent lessons and knowledge or other parts of the English language that you will come to learn will be built on this foundation, these 8 building blocks of language. That's why it's important that you have a good understanding of this part of speech. Thank you very